Good evening, everyone, book club members and visitors. We're here today to welcome back Brother Peter Chisholm, who was with us a few times. He did a book signing some time ago, a couple months ago, and then he came back and participated in a panel discussion. When he came for the book signing, the book club members said how tough we were and that we needed to have him go on our schedule, and we'll read the book and he'll come back and we'll make him, break him, love him.
All right, that's right.
So he's coming back today for us to love him and to help him move to the next level of consciousness, because the Creator has already blessed him.
Yes, yes.
Because it's in the book. So we've brought Peter back to embrace him and tell him some of our thoughts about his work, how he can improve and move through the next chapter in his life.
Amen.
So we'd like to welcome our brother once again. And peace and love, Brother Peter Chisholm.
Amen.
Thank you. And the last time I was here, it was an old year. So Happy New Year, folks.
Happy New Year to you.
Okay. Hope everything is well so far. And no matter what's happening, you all have to remember, God is good all the time.
That's right.
Okay.
All the time.
Before I get into discussing and then y'all critiquing and telling me and, talking about stuff, I just wanted to ask a few people, or ask you all. I was introduced to a documentary earlier today called Waiting for Superman. Are any of you here familiar with that? Okay, I found it very, very revealing. And it shocked me, it surprised me, and it made me sad. Because we are a part of something great that's going nowhere, and we don't even know it. And it's scary. For those of you who are not familiar with this particular documentary, it basically tells us how the educational system works, how teachers work, how the different political moves, because it becomes a political game, this education in the United States. And a lot of us don't know it until certain things are revealed. And you're like, wow, I'm actually a part of this. Whether you're participating with it negatively or positively, you don't know until certain things are, brought out to the light. And as I was watching this, I realized that this is all a part of everything else that's going on in the United States. Control, okay? These things are not by accident. They're not by accident. They're placed here to keep certain individuals, meaning minorities, in control. If you are a white person who's caught up in this particular tragedy, it's unfortunate, but it's not made for that person, because most white folks, they have dynasties, they have money, they have old money, they can seek higher education, the best education. So this was set up for those who are not on that financial level.
Right.
And a lot of us don't realize that. The lady spoke earlier today about the play that she's doing and about homes and people. That's the one thing that we see the white man do, but we don't implement it for ourselves. And like she said, my mother would leave me a home, and the minute my mother's dead, I sell it. Then there's nothing for my children.
That's
and then
right.
they struggle later on
That's
in
right.
life, and sometimes they end up on the wrong side of the road because I was not thinking, or I did not follow what it was that I should have
That's
done.
right. That's right.
And
That's right.
it's sad that we don't realize this. And those who do realize it, we don't teach it. And those who are teaching it, the pupils don't want to hear it.
Right.
So it's kind of like we're almost in a no-win situation. And it's really scary. At the same token, as I watched this Waiting for Superman, I realized that story is in my book. It's in my book. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Alberto Suarez. Have you heard the name? Alberto. He's a filmmaker. He sought me out on Facebook, okay, and said that he read the book, he loved it, and he would like to do a movie trailer for it. And what I'm learning about the movie game is they pitch to the big industry. So what he wants to do is he wants to make a very low cost movie trailer and then pitch it to someone like Miramax, Universal, Warner Brothers, and if they like it, then they'll either give him the budget to make it a big screen production, or they'll do it themselves and just pay him for the idea or for selling the product to them, so forth and so on. He wants to utilize, you all have heard of Spike Lee. Okay, when Spike Lee did his first movie, he used non-famous actors, you know, people who's just starting out in business. And now these very folks are living in Hollywood and, you know, they're doing good. So he would like to use local talent to portray this particular movie trailer. I asked him what he liked about it so much where he'd be willing to actually spend his time and his energy into putting a trailer for this. And he said, the realness. And I said, the realness, could you explain to me in details what you mean by realness? And he said, it's amazing how you used everything that we're faced with, you put it all together in one story, and that you use psychology and reverse psychology to get a message out. I got it, but the whole point is I got it because I read. But our young folks don't read, you know, or what they read, I don't know if it's really, you know. So I was amazed, and I was happy at the same time that someone of a higher level than myself, as far as status is concerned, actually took interest in this. Then I'm still getting a lot of telephone calls, I'm still getting a lot of people emailing me, or they see me on the bus, so forth and so on, and they'll say, wow, the book is really good, so forth and so on. I don't know if I told you about a pastor the last time I was here, who she bought the book because she's known me for years. I've been picking her up as a passenger, and she just bought the book, and she emailed me and said she apologized, and I asked her why she apologized, and she said because she stereotyped me, and as a pastor, that's something she should have never done. Only God judges. And she said because I have tattoos, she thought that maybe my book was more leaning towards gangsters, and you know, and when she realized that there's a story in there that involves God, relationship with God, she was really touched, and she had to definitely embark and tell me and emphasize what it is that she liked about it, and she gave me her prayers and her blessings, and you know, and I love that. So without further ado, for those of you who have not read the book or are not familiar with the story, Whiteout is about a young brother who witnessed his father and brother get killed by white policemen injustifiably. He used science and technology, the satellite system, and he exposed all the secret Ku Klux Klan members in our judicial system, in our government, in our churches, in our schools, and formed an organization that scared white America. Because for the first time in history, blacks, along with other ethnic groups, united. We actually united, and we stood strong. We were tired of the hate crimes. We were tired of the police brutality, and we stood strong. So strong that white America decided to back off and give us the respect that we were long overdue. But at the same token, he had a little battle going on with God, because he felt that God turned his back on him because of what happened to his father and his brother. So he had to go through his own doors and fight his own demons to realize God loves him like he loves every single one of us in this room. And we have to realize that things happen, but sometimes we cannot know that it's cold unless you experience hot. Or you won't know that it's hot unless you're out there in the cold. So when you get the warm or when you get the cool, you can appreciate it because you know what the other side is like. And sometimes we stand so tall and mighty in our own godness, which is only given to us by the Creator, that we forget about him. We forget that he exists. So this book has history in it. It has education. It has the real world, real talk. It's raw. It has sex. It has murder. But this is what this world is about. This scrapbook is a reflection of this book. This is fictitious. Everything in this scrapbook is real. It happened. Every single thing. And if you read my book, and then you read this and many other things that we couldn't fit in here, you'd realize I'm not talking about something new. I'm just talking about what's happening every day. And it's time for us to stop using the white man and slavery as an excuse. Let's get over it. Wake up, because we're not going anywhere. And if we're going to kill each other all the time, and if we're going to not open up doors and help one another, whatever it is that you have that you could bring to the table, whether you are a teacher, you're a financial expert, you know the spiritual, you're godly, whatever. If you can't bring this to an ignorant and naive people, we're going to forever stay ignorant and naive. That's basically what Whiteout is about. But a little about me, I'm not stopping at Whiteout. There's how many of you in here read the book already? Okay. You remember the group WWTN? Mm-hmm. Now WWTN, in the book, they're ruthless. You don't mess with them, okay? I would like to create a real life WWTN, but not the ones that's in the book. No. Not the one that's in the book.
All right.
What we want to do is we want to form, if you want to call it a society or network of encouragement, where we get together, whatever it is that you have, positive, and we form a group where we teach and we try to elevate those who are still in the barrel. And instead of pulling them down, let's get together and pull each other up.
That's right. That's
all Whiteout is about. I have a person that lives in Riverside, was it 157 Riverside, that bought the book, and she by accident left the book somewhere where her boss can read it. Her boss is a white man, and he told her that my book is promoting hate, that my book is promoting a lot of negative things. And I asked her, did you read the book? She said she read the first 3 chapters. What do you think? She said, I don't see no hate there. You're speaking something that we all recognize, whether we want to accept it or not, and you're trying to do something, or at least in the story, you're trying to let people realize that we all go through something. And at one point or another, we ask God, why? Why me? Why is this happening to me? I just lost my job, or so-and-so died, or whatever. Why is it happening to me? But why not? It's part of life. And if you're going to let that turn you into a negative monster, then you were negative in the first place. You've got to override, and sometimes we need people to help us override because we weren't taught how to override. So I don't know where else I can go at this point for those who have read the book. But I do welcome all the positive and the negative. That way, the next sequel, you can help me write.
That's right.
Okay? And these are two other books that I wrote. Delroy and Angel. Okay? And you could get these Barnes & Nobles and also Amazon.com. And just a quick, Delroy is about a young brother who got into the drug game, okay? But instead of staying on the corners, he went to school and he mastered his craft, if that's what you want to call it. And then he actually ended up giving back to the society. But he got caught up. He got saved, and he got caught up in a lot of the world, to the point that when he wanted to get out, all the friends that he met along the way in that line of business wouldn't let him out. So the only way that you could come out of this is to die. Okay? Angel, it's a fantasy story about what it was like before man was made. The relationship that God possibly had with the angels. And then when man was made, what took place. Very interesting, but I don't want to emphasize too much.
Lucifer got jealous.
Oh yes, you know that. You know that. You know that.
That's right.
You read the book already.
No,
Okay.
no, that's just my feeling.
Okay. Well, hey, that's where it is. That's where it is.
That's what they taught you in Catholic school.
You know, Louis, thank you for coming. God bless you. I love you. Okay. So let me hear what you guys got to say, because y'all did say y'all going to beat me up. So let me hear what you're going to say.
All right.
I'm going to start first because I did read it. I read it off and on since I got it from you the last time.
Okay.
And I found it scary.
Okay.
Very scary. And I'm saying, as I'm reading these scenes, some fool's going to read this and really try to do what Pooji and his sister did.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
And it really got to me after a while.
Okay.
I was impressed. Their genius. They both were geniuses.
Okay.
You know, and how they put it together, and how they had nobody could find them. Nobody could do anything.
Right.
You know. And I cried at the end, and you probably know why, because it was very unexpected.
Okay.
I figured he would have a comeuppance, but not by who did it.
Right.
Okay. So I enjoyed it.
Okay.
It took me time to read it,
Okay.
but I enjoyed it. And like I said, it was very scary. When I sat afterwards and sat with him and said, if somebody really want to try to do this, we're in a big trouble. We were already in trouble, but we'll be even more trouble if somebody actually carries these things out.
Okay. Okay.
I liked it.
Okay. Okay.
I just started to read it, but the opening pages were very enticing.
Okay,
So
grabbed you.
Right,
Okay.
exactly, grabbed me. So I will finish it.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else? You said you read the book, or you just bought it, but you didn't read it.
Oh no, I read it.
Okay, yeah, because you said no,
I read it.
WT. So tell me from your perspective, you know, where it falls on your heart.
I mean, I'm not a reader that, you know, likes just fairy tales and love.
Okay.
Novels,
Right.
stuff like that. I'm really not.
Okay.
But it depressed me because of the hate.
Okay.
There was such storm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself, you know, like, everybody doesn't get a fair shake in life. A lot gets shot by accident. You know, your mother, you take it, you think it's a good doctor, but she winds up dying on the
Right.
table.
Right.
And you're an accomplished writer. But for me, this is just me.
Okay.
I